say ethical investments, investing in people. Money is never just money. It works. Always. The only question is, for what, or for whom? Every investment supports certain structures in this world, whether we consciously want to or not. It can promote environmental destruction or its protection. It can enable exploitation or strengthen dignity and independence. Every banknote is a voting slip and has power. I choose what I want to support. That is why ethical investments do not ask the question, how much return will I get? But a much more fundamental one, what impact does my money have in the world, and does that fit with my values? Microfinance is a particularly exciting area of ethical investment. For many people around the world, access to traditional banks is simply not possible. No account, no collateral, no creditworthiness, and therefore little chance of building a life for themselves. Microloans come in at precisely this point. They are small amounts, often only a few €100, but they are enough to open a market stall, buy seeds, purchase tools, or set up a small service business. The amazing thing is that repayment rates are often over 95%. A great deal of experience has already been gained in this area, not because people are forced to do so, but because these loans are not handouts. They are help for self-help. They create income, independence, and dignity. An internationally renowned pioneer of this idea is the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. However, it is usually only indirectly accessible to investors in Europe. This is where Oikocredit comes in. They are represented in many countries. Oikocredit is an international cooperative founded in 1975 with a clear guiding principle: investing in people. The aim is not to achieve the highest possible returns, but to give people on low incomes access to capital, fairly, transparently, and for the long term. The focus is on three areas: microfinance, sustainable agriculture, and renewable energy. Oikocredit finances, for example, microfinance institutions, smallholder cooperatives, and solar projects in regions that would otherwise receive little investment. This creates a bridge between people in the global north and people in the global south, not as donors and recipients, but as partners. The idea that my money enables a startup company and thus allows people to make a living, and after a certain period of time, the next one, and so on, gives me the deepest joy. As an investor with Oikocredit, you do not become a customer of a bank, but a member of a cooperative. The money invested flows into many different projects and countries at the same time. Project consulting and support are part of the service. The loans are often long-term, deliberately targeting areas where traditional banks would not invest. This makes this form of investment different from a savings account or call money account. It is capital with patience and with purpose. At the same time, honesty is important. Oikocredit does not promise high returns. Dividends are capped at a maximum of 2%, and in some years, such as during times of crisis, there are no distributions at all. This is not a mistake, but part of the concept. The lower the return for investors, the cheaper and more sustainable the loans can be for the people on the ground. Cooperative shares are an entrepreneurial investment. This means that there are certain risks involved. Oikocredit spreads these risks across many countries and projects. At the time of the major financial crisis in 2009, the shares were extremely stable, and all the money was still there afterwards. There are also other ethical investments, see Appendix. And that is ultimately what it is all about. There is no investment that combines everything perfectly. Everyone decides for themselves how much security they need, what return they expect, and how important the impact of their own money is. For me personally, one question is central. Should my money be part of a system that divides, exploits, and destroys? Or part of a human family that takes responsibility? For people, for communities, and for the earth. Perhaps that is the most important question of all. Not just what my money does for me, but what my money does to the world.